Okay. Last question. This is another fan question. You don't have to answer if you don't like. Okay. I actually got two questions, but they very slow. Five Chicago artists you listen to right now.
um, let's see. So obviously Chance, and he's now a little bit higher on the radar as well. Definitely Lupe. I've always liked Lupe since the beginning. He's someone that I love. Saba, who's also West Side. He's just a super dope artist. Um, Chance, Lupe, Saba. I like, and probably one of my favorites, Jamila Woods. She is out of this world awesome. And is a gem, I think, in the city. Like someone who even transcends Chicago. And there are others. I like Vic. You know, Vic he's pretty hardcore. And there are a lot of other folks that are, you know, in some different genres. There's spoken word artists that I listen to that I think they just have that Chicago flavor. And of course, you know, I like Common. I feel like Common is a generation before some of the current, but he's more, when I was coming up, it was folks like Common.
Getting back into it with the arts now, in the Chicago art, they say art reflects your reality, right? And the perception of Chicago artists throughout the world now is that we're violent because a lot of our rappers rap about violent things, to the point where a video went viral from a journalist from New York recently on Complex was saying that he blames I'm not gonna give him any clout by mentioning his name, but people know he is. He blamed Chicago music and the drill music and the type of music we make for the violence throughout the country through the youth. And what I'm going with it is, how do you feel we need to reshape that image of Chicago? Because it seems like for people outside of the city, they like to highlight the negativity that comes out of the city, but not the positive things.
Well, I mean, I think it's always that way. Like, the negative things will tend to get more press. The more sensational it is, it gets the attention. Unfortunately, the more positive things don't get as much attention. But, you know, I know just from what I know of the art scene in Chicago, the many positive artists and positive music that there is, in spite of what the national reputation of the city may be. I mean, the reality is that Chicago has experienced pretty significant levels of violence over the last few years. And it is true that art is a reflection of reality in many instances. So people are going to create what inspires them to create. And for better or worse, that's going to manifest in the music. I don't think that it discounts the spectrum of what's coming out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it discounts those who are putting out music that's perhaps more conscious or perhaps less violent, or that's there. I think our challenge is just amplifying that kind of music as well, because they deserve to be those artists that are producing music perhaps is not as violent. They also deserve to be heard and deserve attention. But you just have to create. We have to keep creating. There's nothing that's prohibiting anyone from... I mean, if you're a creative, you're going to create based upon whatever inspires you. Mm-hmm. And so in that regard, I think the solution is to create more. That if you do a certain kind of hip-hop or a certain kind of music, create more of that. That's how you get the balance. If it's only drill music, or if it's only things that are negative, that's a problem because there's not a balance there. But the solution isn't to tell them to stop creating, because every artist, you live to create. The solution is to create more of whatever it is that you create, more of what speaks to you, more of what, you know, is in you to manifest. And I think that's with arts across the board.
Can you see yourself getting really involved in the hip hop community in Chicago, like doing like a summit, or just trying to bridge these gaps from the conscious into the drill, and you know, maybe give the drill rappers a new perspective on life, so they can start rapping about other things outside of drill?
Sure. I mean, as long as they don't ask me to spit any bars, I mean, I think I'll be good. I mean, I think that's productive. Like I like the idea of collaboration anyway. I don't think that we should build up walls between even genres, like between hip hop, R&B, singers, rappers, spoken word artists, visual artists. I believe in the power of collaboration to create new things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to communicate with each other. And as long as we all respect each other, then we can collaborate. We can build from each other. We can be inspired by each other. And I think sometimes people are surprised by what inspires them. Like, you never know what can come out from even a conversation with an artist from another genre, or an artist that you didn't think that you liked, or that perhaps you only heard about their music, but you haven't heard their full scope of music. And there might be some things that you actually like. I've seen it happen. I mean, I got a CD from a guy out west. I don't even remember his name. And there's, I'm not like a big on drill music, or like, I'm just not.
Mm-hmm.
But I support because he was selling CDs, and I sometimes, I just like to support because I know folks hustle. And then I put the CD in the car. Man, it was awesome. It was like, and it's not my style of music, but it was awesome. I played that CD like every day, and I remember I had a friend who I was giving a ride somewhere, and I turned the car on, and it was like this some kind of whatever the genre, and they looked at me like, huh? But it was awesome, and it was unexpected. And I have a lot of respect for folks who produce, because whatever they're producing, like, it comes out at you as part of your. It's to create something is just a very powerful thing, and I like the idea of collaborating, and at least connecting around creative energy.
So with that creative energy, this can be going back into the economic stance of building these communities. It's a thing with Chicago. When artists get big, they leave. When they get the check, when they get the fame, they leave in all different genres. I would say Chance is probably about the only rapper that we've had in Vic Mensa that made it big, that's actually stayed within the community. Can you see yourself inviting artists that made it big home and try to make our own Mecca, like Atlanta or like a small Hollywood, where we can have a Chicago music scene, make it the hub with record labels and just like our own Hollywood? That way we can bring those economic opportunities here. Can you see that being a part of your mission?
I can certainly see that as being a part of the mission. I mean, historically, Chicago has some heavy hitters. And back in now I'm dating myself, but back in the 90s, and even in the early 2000s, like, Chicago has a very strong hip hop history. It has a history of groups that, were trailblazers in hip hop and rap. I can think of folks, especially out west, there were a lot, but folks like Psychodrama, groups like Psychodrama. I mean, they have been trailblazers for hip hop, for the arts in Chicago. I think that there was a time where we had more infrastructure to help cultivate our own, where you didn't necessarily have to leave. And I would love to see stronger infrastructure where artists have a home even when they get big. Like, it doesn't require you to go to New York or to go to LA, which happens a lot. But we have to build that infrastructure, meaning an artist has to see a path for their career and their future in the city. And that means being able to get access to venues for performances. It means being tied into, whether it's artist collectives or being tied into spaces where you can get the exposure that can help you to continue to grow, because you always are trying to build audience, and you don't want to feel like the only way you can grow is by leaving the city. But we have to build that infrastructure. We have to support our artists. Just even navigating. I mean, the thing about Chance and being independent, that's a serious thing. To be an independent artist in that industry, and it's not an easy thing. So the ways in which artists can learn from each other about how to navigate the industry in a way where everybody can thrive, everybody can grow. We have to cultivate that infrastructure here so that people don't feel that they have to leave to be able to expand, because you never want to feel like you've outgrown a place. Sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes it's just inevitable, and sometimes you have to go out and then come back later. But as a city, what we can do is we've got to make it, create as much space as possible for you to continue to grow, so that you never feel like you have to leave to get to that next level. But if you do have to leave, you always want to have a way back. And I think we should always keep a way back, a way for people to come back to Chicago, no matter how big they've gotten.
And I feel like that can curate jobs too, because if people set up their own record labels for curators.
Yes. There's a whole industry of jobs, and beyond the artists themselves, there's the marketing, there's agents, there's the accountants, there's the lawyers, there's the A&Rs. I mean, there's a whole industry of jobs that are available that can be cultivated, from young people who can get exposure into the field to, veterans, people who've been in the game for a very long time, who might be thinking about switching out their career. There's a whole host of jobs available, and that's in the arts, that's in not just music, that's in film, television. We're seeing theater, we're seeing it happen where it's beyond the artist, there's industry around the artist. There's all these other professions that are available and potential opportunities to grow and strengthen our local economy and make it much more attractive.